Happy Flashpoint Friday, everyone. This is Austin coming at you. This is Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts right here. We create transformational experiences that lead you to your Flashpoint. And we have an incredible episode for you today. We have lots to cover, but let me jump right in. The first thing we want to do is highlight the present moment. Whether you're live, you're on the playback. And Mandy, I see you. Yes, you're in the right place. The present moment is what I want you to dial into right now. I want you to get something. I want you to give something. I want you to tap in to what we're doing right here. So this is a reminder that we cannot go backwards. We can't think about the past in terms of regret, what we could have done differently. We can't live too far into the future worrying about things. We want to create our vision, but we want to avoid worrying about the future. I want you to live in the moment more. Are you up for that today? Maybe that's what you tuned in for, just to hear that message. Live more in the moment. And that's what I'm going to do right now with you. The second thing we bring up is the Thomas Edison light bulb, to remind us that every attempt that seems unsuccessful is just a success in disguise that reminds us that we're getting closer to that which we want to create. And this Thomas Edison light bulb is an exact replica. And I bought it at the very site that the light bulb was invented. Let's keep going. And then lastly, but not least, we have the cowbell to highlight the moment. Now, what's exciting about this episode is I get to be in the chat with you, because this is the first time I pre-recorded live show, pre-recorded, just like the big league, right? So I'm going to be able to go into the chat with you, and I'm going to go right into the introduction now because I have a lot to cover. There's some really raw moments toward the end of this. And if I have time, I'm going to share with you the Vincent van Gogh immersion that I attended, and we have a highlight video from that. Let me jump in. This next episode is from a woman that I had an opportunity to meet through Karen Drosness, a close friend. Again, it was a client at some point. Incredible woman introduced me to Mama Mo. Mama Mo is a herbal practitioner. She is the home to Brandy, the famous pitbull from Quentin Tarantino's movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The dog literally has a scene with Brad Pitt. It's super cool. And out of that, Mama Mo developed these amazing organic treats for dogs. She deals with CBD, things like that to help really, where it's applicable. And she's just an incredible healer. And when you go through this interview and you see this, there's some raw moments. And one of her key things is rebuilding an authentic world. And when you feel her energy and you see this interview, you're going to feel that all throughout. And I got goosebumps right now, because when you see her and you're going to see where she came from and what she's gone through, it is humbling, it is beautiful, and it is raw. And I know it's going to absolutely move you. So what I want to do right now, I'm going to start this interview and I'm going to be in the chat with you. And then there's amazing ways for you to connect with us. All right, here we go. And make sure you stay tuned for the end, because we have the Vincent van Gogh and a couple other things that I want to announce. Hint, hint, hint. Well, that's just a little teaser. So I'll see you at the end. Here we go. And by the way, once I start this, please let me know the audio is good. Mama Mo, welcome to Flashpoint TV. I'm so glad to have you with me today. First of all, how are you? You just came from an incredible road trip.
I did. I'm refreshed and revived. And, some people think I'm crazy for driving across the country, but to me, it's always a beautiful adventure to see the different scenery, to see the mountains, the prairies, the desert, it's just incredible. It's refreshing for me. So I just got back. I've been gone for 2.5 weeks. I'm here for one day, and then I fly out to Costa Rica on another adventure.
And we're going to talk about all these exciting things that are happening with you, and we're going to get as much as we can. We want to hear about your story. But you were just sharing something to me funny about the cowbell, which is that we just went
I love it. I said, I haven't thought about this in years, but that cowbell is it's really funny, and it's an incredible memory. So when we used to go camping when I was little, one of the things that we would do is we carried a cowbell, or we would say cowbell when we were younger. And when we go out in the woods, because when we went camping, it was like real camping, like nature camping. There was no like little, you made your own fire pit, you did, you know, your own, you had a little shower that you man-made. It was nothing like it, you know, I call it glamping or whatever today. But we
Right,
would
the
go out in the
glamping, yeah.
woods, and there's like coyotes, and there's, you know, bears and stuff, because we're on like wildlife reserves. And so we would always do cowbell. We would shake the cowbell in the middle of the night to make sure people knew that, you know, we were okay, and that, you know, we were alive, or that we didn't get lost or whatever. So if someone was taking too long, we would do the cowbell. So every time I hear that, that's what it reminds me of. And it's an incredible memory that I completely forgot about.
I love
it.
that. Maybe this is a great, you might have just created a brand new thing for the cowbell.
Yes.
And I have a great idea that's going to happen right here on Flashpoint TV.
There we go.
So if you are having a moment and you're feeling doubtful and you're feeling upset, or you're not sure, and maybe you're a little anxious, think of Mama Mo and ring the cowbell as a reminder that everything's going to be okay because you got cowbell.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. There we go.
This is beautiful. I love this. So good. So, all right, let's get into your story, because we have limited time, and I want to make sure we get to your story. So, Mama Mo, you told me when we were preparing for this interview, and we talked about it on the teaser we did yesterday. You said to me there was a moment you didn't think you were going to amount to anything.
No.
So
one of my goals and my purposes and my passion in life now is to make sure that everybody knows that they're worth. And if I can inspire somebody to believe in themselves just a little bit, just a tiny, tiny little bit, then my job is complete. You know, I grew up in a rough background. I grew up in foster care. I was in very abusive relationships in my adult life. And, you know, I was broken, and I really didn't believe that I was meant to be here on this earth, or that I even mattered. You know, there was times in my life where I didn't even believe that I was good enough to be a parent to my children. And, you know, to be honest with you, there was, you know, so many moments in my life where I really, really thought about suicide. I really thought about taking my life, because I really didn't think that there was a worth that within me, that I felt like I just created this chaos in this life with my children and everything. And you know, I can remember one time when I was going to, you know, I was going to end my life, and I was sitting in the bathroom and I was crying, and, you know, the universe works in beautiful ways. And I can remember thinking to myself, you know, my children are better off without me. I'm better off. You know, I just create chaos. I'm just basically a waste of space. I remember looking down on the floor, and I saw this picture of my son. It was like it was like one of my favorite pictures. And I don't know how it got there or why it was there. And at that moment, I realized that if I can't do it for myself, my kids need me. There was, you know, my kids needed me so bad that if I could just find the strength to be there for my kids, that I could make it. You know, I've been homeless. I've lived in a woman's shelter. You know, I've been through a lot of trauma in my life. And if you would have told me, you know, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, that I'd be living the life that I am now, I would have laughed in your face. I really would have. You know, I just would have never believed that I'd have a platform to tell my story. I never would have believed that I would have had the opportunities, you know, with our dogs to, you know, go to the Oscars and to, you know, have this platform now that I have to share my story. You know, I didn't even think that I even really had a story to share. I just thought that, you know, I was the only one. You know, you hear things as women, and you want to hold it all in within yourself, because you think nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear your pity party story. Nobody wants to hear all the drama that you've had in your life, or the abuse, or the crazy, you know, ness that goes on in your life. And so we hold it all in, and it creates this disease within ourselves, and we lose hope sometimes, and we lose sight of the possibilities to never give up and to believe that there is hope out there. And I'm living proof of that. And if I can just inspire one person or give one woman that's in a domestic violence situation hope, or just inspire one person to follow their dreams, then it was all worth it. I used to have a saying, no regrets, just lessons learned. And that is the story of my life. I don't regret any of that. I don't regret my childhood. I don't regret the family I grew up in. I don't regret being married to abusive men. I don't regret any of that, because it's brought me to where I am today. And I wouldn't have this story, and I wouldn't have this platform to be able to share who I am and what I've been through, and to give hope to others. And that's really what I want to do now, is to bring hope to especially women. And I know men go through these things as well, but me being a woman, if I can just inspire one woman to just believe in herself, then it's all worth it to me. It's all been worth it.
Yeah. And the one thing, a couple of things I want to grab, like, number one, you and I are similar in this, that I say this all the time. If I can inspire one person, and there's so much power in that, because a lot of times people want to inspire thousands and millions, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I love the simplicity of, if I can inspire one person.
I
Right.
think we get these, grandiose ideas where,
Yes.
of course, I would love to be a public speaker, and I would love to use my platform and go out there and change thousands and thousands of lives. But for me, it's those one-on-one interactions that I get,
Yeah.
those intimate moments where I can look you in the eyes and say, I don't know exactly how you're feeling, but I know what I've been through, and let me give you a little bit of hope. Let me hug you. Let me love on you just a little bit. And here's my phone number. It's those connections that mean the most to me. I can go out there and I can change thousands and thousands of lives and use my story and get it out there. But it's those one-on-one interactions that mean the most to me. And to be able to be there for these women in my life, and to give them hope and a phone call away, and to really be that person that I wish I would have had. I had little bits and pieces of those people throughout my life that gave me hope, but now I have
Yeah.
an opportunity to really be a mentor to these women and to give them hope. And it's those
Beautiful.
one-on-one interactions that mean the most to me.
Yeah. And that's a cowbell moment right there. It totally is, because it's like, you're going to be okay, and you want to have these one-on-one intimate. And I love that. And I want to say this here on this show, because to me, this is like sacred time, like, to get here, because the road, and I always say this whenever I get on an interview, I have to actually have 2 interviews later today. The road to get here is so incredible. The journey for me to be here, the journey for you to get here, right? Because people see you on like, they see you on this stream, they see your smile, you're beautiful, you can see the beauty inside and out. But what you just described, and people are going to find themselves in these moments. Your journey, I will say, it will inspire thousands of people, albeit one at a time, because I feel that, because there's not many people that have gone through what you've gone through to get to where you are. And that perspective that you now have is so incredibly powerful. It has the power to heal anybody you come in contact with. And I bet you, I feel that this is the truth. Whenever you interact with somebody, they walk away different, and you may not heal them in the moment, right? Because that's not your job, but the seed of healing is planted. Is this?
Yeah, I see it a lot. It's really where my passion comes from. It's where the name Mama Mo even comes from. I've always been a nurturer and a caretaker, and wanted to love on others and be the example that I, needed in my life, especially for my children. And I haven't always been there for my kids. I made a lot of bad mistakes in my life, and one of my biggest fears was that I was really going to mess up my kids due to my own adult decisions that I made. And I ended up having these incredibly inspiring, beautiful children that are just so bold, and so they inspire me every day.
For your children. That's beautiful. I want to share this with you because many people know I'm on a Van Gogh kick, a Vincent Van Gogh kick. I've been studying. I did a podcast on him, and I've been studying. I was just at the Van Gogh immersion, but I think this quote it embodies you, and it embodies kind of what we're talking about. And this is what he felt at a time in his life. And so if you're earlier in your journey, you may feel this way. And he said, "A great fire burns within me, but no one stops to warm themselves at it, and passers by only see a wisp of smoke." And
That's deep.
isn't that deep? And
That's so deep.
Because there might be times in your journey when there's so much inside of you, but all people see is the wisp of smoke on the surface, and they don't know. And I think sometimes we don't even know what we're capable of, or the true gifts that are inside that have the power to heal and that have the power to inspire. And I don't know, for some reason that just came up. I don't know if that's
I
resonating with you.
love it. No, it is. It is. And I think that, you know, you get to this point and you have this fire within you, like your fire is like in your solar plexus, and you have this desire, and people see you and they're so inspired by you, but they also don't realize the depth and the journey that it took to get there. They see the smoke, they see the end result, they don't see the fire within, they don't see what it took to have that fire burn within you. And I just think that it's, people pass by and they see the smiling face, and they see the journey that I'm on, and they get inspired. But it's really the core issue, that fire that burns inside of me, that, like you said, that people pass by, that people don't see. They just see the outer shell of what Mama Mo is.
Yeah,
Say.
it's true. And so we have there's a lot that I want to cover with you, but I want to share with our audience that you're a part of our community now.
Yes.
So whatever we don't cover on here, if you want to get to know Mama Mo more and you want to
reach out anytime,
connect, just connect, and we will definitely do that. And I do want to, before we get to the rest of the story, how can people connect with you? And then we're gonna kind of hear what you're up to now, and there's some other things about your story that I want to highlight. But how can people connect with you?
The best way to connect to me is through social media. Yeah, Mama Mo Klazowski on Facebook, or usually if you put Mama Mo in the search bar, I usually come up right away, and you can't miss me with my pink hair. But Instagram as well. And if you want to follow the dog, it's Brandy _the_ pitbull, and she's always fun to follow as well. But to get a hold of me, it's Facebook and Instagram, and you can even email me at mamamo, MAMAMO .raw, RAAW @gmail.com. And RAW stands for Rebuilding an Authentic World, keeping it real and keeping it raw, and together we can rebuild an authentic world.
That is beautiful. I love the play on raw. And by the way, I got goosebumps. If you have goosebumps, if you're listening, type in the word goosebumps. Type in the word goosebumps, and let's make sure we get your contact information. We'll make sure we type that in for everyone that gets it. The other thing that just amazes me, you healed yourself, and I like to say a cancer survivor, because that's the way I see it, and that's an incredible journey there of just, oh my goodness, your story's so deep. Is there anything you want to highlight there
the number one thing that I really want to highlight is to let people know that you need to be your own advocate. When you have health issues, you really need to listen to yourself and your body, and realize that you're not a statistic or a percentage or grouped into a category of everyone else who's had this disorder, this disease, the cancer, whatever it may be. You need to take your health and your wellness into your own hands, and you need to be very, very blunt and very, very honest with your doctors. I ended up taking a medication for hormone replacement treatment after surgery and treatment from stage 2B endometrial cancer, and it's called Premarin, and it literally stands for pregnant mare urine. And what they do is dehydrate pregnant horses to get a hormone that is released in their urine, and they use that for hormone replacement treatment. It's not even legal here in the United States. We get it from Canada, and I believe there's one other country. This may be updated. I'm not a professional, just letting you know that. But it
Yes,
really,
and this is for informational
yes,
purposes
exactly.
only.
Informational purposes
Yes.
only. My journey, my story. And I decided to take matters into my own hands. And I've always been one into, holistic healing and plant medicine. And so I dove into it and decided that I was going to take my health into my own hands. But not listen to your doctors. I do take one medication that I have to take, or, it's going to throw me into a frenzy and a flare up state. But I really learned how to heal myself with plant medicine and how to listen to my body. What works for one person isn't going to be universally work for everyone
Yes.
else. And where all of our compositions and our biological, compositions are different. And we need to learn that we don't all fit into one group, and that we can take matters into our own hands and do the research and learn about plants and learn about your body and learn, what is right for you. And I've fought my not fought, but I've definitely been like, hey, listen, I'm going to try this. Let me see if I can manage this with diet and with, plant medicine. And if I can regulate my body, will you please agree that I not be put on this medication or start this treatment? And that was the agreement that I had with my doctor, that, as long as I could stay within the parameters that I needed to be in, that I could continue to do that. And once I got out of that, then my doctor and I came to an agreement on the medication that we felt was right for both of us. So I think that that's my number one thing, is to advocate for yourself and to learn what the differences are in healing yourself and decide what's best for you.
I think that's so important because, the medical world, they have to have statistics. They have to lean on that. But it's so important to dial into yourself and what's important, and to take all the information. And there's no one that's going to be a greater advocate for your health than you. So thank you so much. And sometimes things come from unconventional places. And
Absolutely.
and not to get into too much, but we're hearing more of this today. Be an advocate for your own health. There's going to be, what an incredible story. So we're here today. What's the future for Mama Mo?
Oh my goodness, there's so many incredible things going on. I'm getting ready. I have a new business partnership, which I'm going to be able to announce shortly. Why I'm going
We're
to
looking
Costa
forward to that.
Rica. I know, I'm super, super, super excited to be able to bring this to helping some things, bringing it to here to the United States and working on some projects. But outside of that project that I'm doing, Mama Mo's is about to take on a whole nother level. I am about to launch and working on a raw diet line for canines that is going to be balanced in nutrition, the CBD line. My dog treats are, I'm working on manufacturing and distribution, and there's a possibility of it going international. I'm getting ready to do my book with you.
The
I'm
book.
getting ready to do my book with you. I can't wait. My turnaround story, my health story. I'm going to get more into details about, surviving cancer. I also live with an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's. I was also diagnosed with Lyme's disease. I'm deaf in my left ear from autosclerosis. I deal with a lot of health issues, but I live a life today and I feel healthier now than I ever have. So I want to be able to share and inspire that story. So there's so many incredible things going on. I just got back from an incredible branding photo shoot with Ann Landstrom. She is an award-winning celebrity photographer out in San Diego. I want to promote her as much as possible because she is absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to share those pictures with you guys. So there's a lot of great things, incredible things going on. We have a new training facility that we are launching with our dogs. Yay, I'm so excited about that. So we have it's just an exciting time. There's so many things out there right now that you could focus on that are negative, and I'm really trying to focus on these incredible opportunities and the positivity and surrounding myself in nature and, loving on those that need a little bit more extra love right now.
So true. I want to encourage you now to connect with Mama Mo. Even if you don't have a canine or a pet, you can see that there's so much that you can glean from Mama Mo in terms of your journey. Get in her ethos, as we say. Get in her ethos. Connect with us. She's a part of our community now.
Yeah.
And who knows where this is going to go? I mean, it's just a co-creation. We're going to see where it goes. I am honored, humbled, excited to be able to bring you on this show. You're going to be in Flashpoint. Your health turnaround story starts here. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I have some health challenges, that book's going to be coming out in the next couple months. Mama Mo's story is going to be featured in there. You got the canine, and I believe there's going to be a whole nother thing that's going to open up for you. And I know you're working on a special project with that's going to be launching here in the U.S. Just so many great things. So what can I say? I'm just really excited. Parting sentence or word before timer. So parting word, parting sentence. If we go back to your story, if somebody finds themselves in that place, and this speaks so well to Flashpoint. If somebody finds himself in one of those places, health, lack of worth, you have an opportunity to speak to them now. What would you say? That one person that might be listening to this.
Oh man, I have been there. The one thing that I can say more than anything else is to reach out. We really, really feel like in those times, and it's going to cause me to cry. We really, really feel like we're alone. And we feel like we don't have anybody and that we're a burden to so many other people. And we don't realize that there are really people out there that genuinely care and genuinely love us. And we're not a burden. And that we can, reach out in these times of need and get a little bit of hope. Sometimes we need to lean on other people when we can't stand up ourselves. And that's okay. It's okay to have those moments of weakness. It's okay to go through things. We all struggle. We all find ourselves in those moments in time where we just don't think that we can go on anymore and we can't find that hope within ourselves. So allow other people to love on you and to help you stand up and to reach out in those times of need. You are worth it. You are so, 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 so worth it. This life has incredible things to offer. And sometimes, we're dealt a really, really crappy hand. And a lot of times, we find ourselves in situations that are not our fault. And we don't want to be a burden to other people. So just reach out. There are people, you can reach out to me anytime. I promise you, any time of day or night, and I will be there to even just to listen. Because that's what we need sometimes. Sometimes we don't need somebody to fix it. We just need somebody to listen. So if you need that, I'm here no matter what. And you are worth it. Everything great in this life, you are capable of achieving and being, and you're just worth it.
That was beautiful. I trust that hits the right person. That's a beautiful way to end. This is Austin. This is Flashpoint. Your turnaround story starts here. God bless everyone. Hello, everyone. This is Austin. We have a minute. So the Van Gogh, I'll share that with you next week. But if you are local, two things to do. I put the link. If you want to be a part of our community, I am opening up my community as a complimentary gift. We have a private group. I put the link in the chat. You get the 9 questions to identify and remove limiting beliefs. You'll get an email. You'll be able to join our community to get around people like Mandy Robinson, Mama Mo, and everyone else who's in the community. We have some incredible people in that community. And tomorrow, if you're local, I'm going to be at the Haddonfield Farmers Market in Haddonfield, New Jersey, and I'm going to be offering up some of the inspirational artwork that I created that you can grab. We have a number of them. That's one of them. We have this one, which I think is going to be very popular, and I think I'm going to share this because Mama Mo is such a canine advocate, and with her Brandy the pitbull. So life is better with paw prints. You can get that. Come see me at the Haddonfield Farmers Market. Bye for now, everyone. I'll see you next week on Flashpoint Friday. Your turnaround story starts here. Have a great Friday.